So what I want to talk about today is I've just finished climbing this mountain. It was, it took me 2 hours, hour up, hour down, so it's not really a mountain but more of a hill. But I've been going through this thing where the people that I'm talking to all the time, the people that I'm interacting with, and my colleagues, my bosses, my friends, my family, the whole interaction of the circle that I'm in, the dynamic is quite unique, but that's beside the point. I mean, the whole thing is I want to try and get to a point where I'm like really independent of the good and the bad opinions of other people. You've heard that many times probably, where affirm to yourself, I'm completely independent of the good and the bad opinions of other people. This affirmation allows you to be a little bit more independent, but I've been trying to get to this point where I'm not so easily influenced by other people. I'll look at them and straight away it's like, going from this repetitive belief pattern, or this repetitive pattern where you're kind of a people pleaser. And let's face it, when you've spent a lot of your time, in a situation where you're not depending on yourself the whole time, you kind of end up wanting gratification from people, and you want to be liked, and you want to be part of everything. So, this is one of our basic human needs, is to have this connection and to have this sense of feeling like you're appreciated by other people, and that's fine. But when it gets to that point of you can't even really think about what you're trying to do because you're so engaged in this process of emotional I'm trying to get people to interact with me, I'm trying to get people to like me, and you're using so much emotional energy that it's like you're exhausted. So, in this time, you want to be able to rely on yourself, and I want to be able to, get my business off the ground, get my spiritual practices and my disciplines consistent. But when you're going up and down because you're always wavering when it comes to dealing with the dynamic of the people that you're around, you get to that point where it's like, okay, now I need to do something. So I climbed this mountain, and the thing that I really got from this walk, which was so awesome, and I shouldn't actually be sharing it with you because it's a bit personal, but I thought, stuff it, why not? If it can help you, then it's worth it. I'm going to be putting this into practice over the next week or so and see how it turns out, but I really feel good about it. When you go into this new environment, when you're taking things on by yourself, it's like, you want to create an environment where people like you and you can get on with everybody so that everything is going groovy. But at the same time, when you're moving through life to the point where you're not only just going to be part of a crowd and be an employee, or be go along with the sheep or go along with the crowd, you want to be more of an independent person, and you're going to take charge of your life, and you're going to identify what it is, that thing that you've got that you can bring to the world, that you can capitalize on doing what you enjoy and making money from it and finding peace at the same time. So this balance is kind of what the channel's about, and this individual thing that I'm talking about now is just about being able to separate yourself and create a bit of distance from the people that you're around. Don't necessarily have to completely disengage from the interaction, but slowly start moving yourself away, in a sense that you don't give as much of your emotional energy to the interaction. Just slowly start just distancing yourself, step away a tiny bit from it, and whilst you interact, notice that you create a little bit more space for yourself in that interaction. So that the kind of anxiousness or any kind of emotional fear that you need to push and put into, it's kind of, you create a little bit more space for you to have room to move in, and in that space you can feel more comfortable. So it's also not so much about you taking away from the situation, in that you are the one who is liked by them, or you are the one who can bring something to the environment which makes it better. It's more about you are part of it. It's more about being part of it rather than being it. So instead of being the main character on the whole interaction, instead of being the one that is supposed to get all the credit, it's like try and see yourself as part of something rather than everything else being a part of what you are bringing. So when you're there, you create the space between the environment, which allows you to have more comfort in that space, as well as when you are becoming part of it, rather than it being part of your space. You kind of are humbling yourself a little bit more to that scenario, which allows people more room to feel comfortable in as well, which lets them show their more authentic side because they feel that comfort. So that space is going to do a lot for you to feel comfortable in, and when you bring that environment that says, hey, I'm part of this, it allows them to feel more comfortable as well, which is better for everyone. So this is a little dynamic that I got, and I hope you enjoy it.